Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into something really fundamental but often overlooked, especially with busy family lives. Sleep. Specifically, how it connects to your child's learning. You've probably seen it. Maybe they're a bit grumpier, struggling with homework, just sort of off after a rough night. That's exactly what we're exploring. Just a quick note. This deep dive is based on research, but always best to verify details and, consult with professionals if you need specific advice.
Yeah, and what's so fascinating, I think, is that this goes way beyond just feeling tired or avoiding crankiness.
Right.
We're talking about deep, fundamental brain processes here, how sleep literally shapes your child's ability to learn, to remember, to, well, function optimally. It's not just downtime. Sleep might actually be their most powerful learning tool.
That's a really interesting way to put it. Most people, myself included, probably think of sleep as just switching off, resting. But what's really going on in the brain then during those quiet hours? It sounds like it's pretty busy.
Oh, incredibly busy. Think of it like the brain's super efficient night shift. While your kiddo's off dreaming, their brain is working hard, especially in those deeper sleep stages. One of the absolute key things happening is memory consolidation.
Okay, memory consolidation. What does that mean exactly?
It's basically taking all the information, the experiences, everything they learned during the day, and transferring it from the brain's temporary holding area, short-term memory, into more permanent long-term storage. Is how learning actually sticks.
Right, so it's not just remembering it for tomorrow, but really locking it in.
Precisely. And tied into that is something called synaptic homeostasis. Sounds a bit technical, but it's essentially the brain refining its network, strengthening the important connections made during the day, and pruning back, weakening the ones that aren't needed. It optimizes the pathways for learning, like decluttering the wiring.
A nightly cleanup and upgrade then.
Right.
I also heard something about clearing out waste.
You did. That's the glymphatic system. It becomes much more active during sleep. Imagine it flushing out all the metabolic byproducts, the toxins that build up in the brain while we're awake. This cleanse is crucial for the brain to function properly the next day, especially for learning.
Wow.
And then there's REM sleep,
Yeah.
rapid eye movement. That's not just for dreaming, though dreams happen then. It's vital for processing emotions, making sense of social interactions, and also for consolidating procedural memory.
Procedural memory, like skills.
Exactly. Learning to ride a bike, mastering a new math problem type, playing an instrument. REM sleep helps solidify those how-to skills.
So it really is like this nightly system administrator.
Yeah.
Filing memories, cleaning up, processing feelings, and practicing skills. Definitely puts a new spin on sleeping on it.
It really does. And the payoff is huge. When kids consistently get enough good quality sleep, we see clear benefits. Better memory, improved attention span.
Which is huge for school.
Huge. Plus, better problem solving, more creativity, and maybe one of the most important ones, better emotional regulation. Less frustration, fewer meltdowns. It's like a superpower for learning.
And this all happens across different sleep stages, right? You mentioned deep sleep, REM sleep. There's also that lighter sleep, like stage 2, with those funny names, sleep spindles and K complexes.
Ah, yes, non-REM stage 2. It's a fascinating stage. Those sleep spindles are like quick bursts of brain activity. They're thought to be involved in strengthening those memory traces, like hitting save. And K complexes, those larger waves, seem to help protect sleep, like suppressing responses to noises, but also play a role in memory consolidation.
So even the moderate sleep is working hard. Then you get to the really deep stuff.
Right, non-REM stage 3. Deep sleep, slow wave sleep. This is the prime time for that physical restoration and critical learning consolidation. Processing facts, cementing knowledge, really strengthening those neural pathways related to what they learned.
And REM again for the emotional side and creativity.
Exactly. Processing feelings, making sense of social cues, but also that amazing ability to connect different ideas, leading to creative insights and problem solving. The stages work together. It's a whole cycle, a symphony, really, through the night.
Okay, so understanding that, it makes sense that different ages would need different amounts, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's definitely not one size fits all. A toddler's brain and body are developing so differently from a teenager's, and the amount of sleep they get directly impacts their development and their academic performance, but in age-specific ways. Getting this right is key.
Okay, let's break that down. What are we looking at for the little ones? Toddlers, say 1 to 3 years old.
Toddlers need a lot. We're talking 11 to 14 hours total in a 24-hour period. And yes, that includes their naps. This is such a foundational period. Sleep deprivation here can seriously impact language development, their ability to manage emotions, social skills, even cognitive flexibility later on. It's crucial.
Wow, 11 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, what about preschoolers, 3 to 5, still needing naps?
Often still napping, yeah, or at least having quiet time. They need 10 to 13 hours. This sleep supports all those pre-academic skills they're developing, recognizing letters, numbers, simple problem solving, paying attention for short periods. Good sleep here really lays the groundwork for success when they start formal schooling.
Makes sense, getting the brain ready. Then, school-age kids, 6 to 12.
Now we're looking at 9 to 11 hours nightly. And here, the link to academics is super direct. Studies consistently show kids in this age group who get enough sleep have better test scores, fewer behavioral issues in class, better reading and math skills,
Yeah.
and stronger executive functions, planning, organization, self-control, all that stuff they need for school.
Okay, that's clear. And then the tricky ones, teenagers, 13 to 18, they always seem tired.
They often are. They still need a solid 8 to 10 hours. But their internal clocks, their circadian rhythms naturally shift later. They want to go to bed later and wake up later.
Right, which clashes with early school starts.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
a real challenge. But the sleep is vital. Their brains are doing major remodeling for abstract thought, complex decision-making, emotional stability. Getting enough rest directly impacts their ability to handle more complex subjects and navigate the social-emotional challenges of adolescence.
So understanding what your specific child needs based on their age is really the first step. Okay, so
Yeah.
we know sleep is critical. What actually happens then when kids don't get enough? It's more than just yawning in class, right?
No, much more. It's like trying to run complex software on a computer with low battery. Things start to glitch. First, attention and focus just plummet. They can't sustain concentration in class. They miss instructions, zone out. Some research suggests even losing an hour of sleep can reduce attention span significantly, maybe up to 40%. Think about that.
40%, that's huge.
It is. Then, remember that memory consolidation we talked about doesn't happen effectively. So they might understand something 1 minute, but it doesn't get filed properly. They struggle to recall information for tests or assignments. Their processing speed slows down too. They have trouble keeping up with the pace of lessons or completing work on time.
And what about those executive functions? Planning, organizing.
Severely impacted. Things like planning homework, organizing their backpack, managing time, controlling impulses all become much harder, which, makes school incredibly stressful for them.
And it doesn't just stay cognitive, does it? It shows up in behavior, too.
Definitely. You see more irritability, mood swings. They're quicker to frustration or anger. It affects friendships, interactions with teachers, family life. And here's a really crucial point we found. Sleep-deprived kids often become hyperactive and impulsive.
Right. You mentioned this could be mistaken for ADHD.
Exactly. It's a huge potential misdiagnosis trap. A child might be acting out or unable to sit still simply because their brain is exhausted and struggling to regulate itself. Addressing the sleep issue should always be part of the assessment if ADHD is suspected.
That's such an important insight for parents. So it's not just them being difficult or wired. Their brain is genuinely struggling.
It's running on fumes, literally. This can also lead to social difficulties, misreading cues, poor impulse control in social settings, and poor judgment can lead to increased risk-taking behaviors, especially in teens. It affects everything.
So it's not just about the number of hours then. You mentioned good quality sleep earlier.
Yes, absolutely crucial distinction. Quality matters just as much as quantity. A child could be in bed for the recommended time, but if their sleep is fragmented, interrupted, or just not restful, they won't get the benefits. Tossing and turning all night isn't restorative sleep.
Okay, so how do we foster that quality sleep? What makes the difference?
Several key factors. The sleep environment is huge, dark, quiet, and cool. That temperature point is interesting. Research suggests around 65 to 68 Fahrenheit, so about 18 to 20 Celsius, is optimal for many people.
Cool room, got it. What else?
Consistency. This
Yeah.
is a big one. Regular bedtimes and wake times, 7 days a week if possible, or keeping weekends within about an hour of the weekday schedule. This really helps regulate the body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm.
Makes sense. Avoid that Monday morning jet lag feeling.
Exactly. Then think about pre-sleep activities. Winding down is key. Calming things like a warm bath, reading a physical book, quiet conversation, gentle stretching versus, say, wrestling or playing loud video games right before bed.
And screens, the big one.
The big one, screen time exposure, especially the blue light they emit, directly suppresses melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. So screens late at night effectively trick the brain into thinking it's still daytime.
Okay, so environment, consistency, calming routines, less blue light. How can parents tell if the quality is actually poor, even if the hours seem okay?
Good question. There are signs to watch for. Difficulty actually falling asleep or waking up a lot during the night, restless sleep, lots of tossing and turning, waking up very early and not being able to get back to sleep. And then daytime signs, fatigue, crankiness, difficulty concentrating, even hyperactivity, despite seemingly getting enough hours in bed. Also, listen for things like loud habitual snoring or gasping sounds, which could indicate breathing issues like sleep apnea. It really prompts the question for you listening. What do you actually observe about your child's sleep patterns and daytime energy?
Okay, this is all great information. Now for the really practical stuff, let's unpack the playbook. What can parents do starting tonight?
Routines are foundational. Number one, nail down that consistent sleep schedule. Bedtime and wake-up time as regular as possible. Number two, create a predictable, calming pre-sleep routine. About 30-60 minutes before bed, start winding down. Warm bath, PJs, brush teeth, read a story together, whatever works for your family. But keep it calm and consistent. It signals sleep is coming. And if you need to shift bedtime earlier, do it gradually. 15 minutes earlier every few nights is much easier than a sudden big jump.
Good tip on gradual changes. And optimizing that sleep environment, we mentioned cool, dark, quiet. So maybe blackout curtains if streetlights are an issue, a white noise machine if the house is noisy. Make sure their mattress and pillows are comfortable too, right? Seems basic, but important.
Very important. And don't overlook nutrition. Avoid caffeine. Obviously, check sneaky sources like chocolate or some sodas. Limit sugary drinks and snacks before bed. Also, try not to have a really heavy meal too close to bedtime. Give digestion a couple of hours. Some foods might help slightly, things with tryptophan like milk or turkey, or magnesium like nuts and seeds, but the routine and environment are usually bigger levers.
Right. And then tackling the technology beast.
Yeah.
The blue light impact is real.
It really is. Especially for kids, their eyes are actually more sensitive to blue light, so clear technology boundaries are essential. The big recommendation is a digital curfew, all screens off at least 1 hour, ideally even 90 minutes before bedtime.
1 hour minimum. Okay.
And ideally, keep devices out of the bedroom entirely. Make the bedroom a tech-free zone. No TVs, no tablets, no phones charging by the bed. If screens must be used in the evening, look into blue light filtering apps or glasses. And maybe the toughest one. Parents need to model this behavior too. Put your own phone away.
Ouch. Good point. Lead by example. These strategies sound like they cover a lot of ground. But what if parents try all this consistently and sleep is still a major struggle?
That's a really important scenario. Sometimes, despite best efforts with routines and environment, there might be an underlying sleep disorder. Things like sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops and starts. Loud snoring is a key sign, but not always present. Restless legs syndrome, that uncomfortable urge to move the legs, usually worse in the evening. In teens, that delayed sleep phase disorder we mentioned, where their internal clock is just shifted much later. And insomnia, persistent trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, which can stem from anxiety, stress, or other factors.
So if you suspect something like that, when is it time to call in a professional, like a doctor or a sleep specialist?
I'd say if the sleep problems are persistent, lasting weeks or months despite trying good sleep hygiene practices, if there's frequent waking, excessive daytime sleepiness that impacts their functioning, or any signs of breathing issues like loud snoring or gasping. Also, if significant behavioral or academic problems continue even when you think they're getting enough sleep time, a specialist can help diagnose and manage these conditions.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, thinking bigger picture, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The long-term rewards of getting this right. It's not just about surviving school, is it?
Not at all. We're talking about setting them up for lifelong success and well-being. Academically and cognitively, good sleep habits established early correlate with better grades, sure, but also stronger critical thinking, creativity, problem-solving skills right into adulthood, better memory capacity for future learning.
So learning becomes easier throughout life.
Exactly, and the physical and mental health benefits are enormous. A stronger immune system, better emotional regulation, resilience to stress. Crucially, good sleep is protective against anxiety and depression. It's a foundational piece of mental wellness. Better self-control, better social skills, even improved physical coordination and performance in sports. It's holistic.
This really frames it as building a whole family sleep culture, not just managing a child's bedtime.
That's a great way to put it. It involves everyone. Parents leading by example, prioritizing their own sleep. Scheduling things realistically around sleep needs, not constantly sacrificing sleep for other activities. Talking openly about why sleep matters. Celebrating successes, like sticking to the routine,
Right.
and being flexible, adapting as kids grow and their needs change, but keeping sleep as a core family value.
That consistency message comes through strong.
Hmm.
And it extends beyond home, too, right?
Yeah.
Like into childcare settings.
Yes, that came up in the research too. Quality childcare environments understand the importance of sleep and rest. They often have structured nap or quiet times, consistent routines that align with what you might do at home, trained staff who recognize signs of tiredness, and environments that aren't overly stimulating all day long.
Right, ensuring that support continues. And for parents looking for that kind of environment, resources are popping up. Like the material we reviewed mentioned platforms such as KinderPage in Canada, which helps parents find licensed childcare centers focused on holistic development, including appropriate rest. Things like detailed profiles and parent reviews can help find a good fit.
That integration is important. Consistency across environments helps kids thrive.
Absolutely. So to wrap up, the connection between sleep and your child's learning is just undeniable. It's profound. Quality sleep isn't a luxury. It's the foundation. Prioritizing it is a direct investment in their academic success, their emotional well-being, their future. And remember, it's usually a gradual process. Small, consistent steps. Be patient with yourself and your child.
Which leads to maybe a final thought or question for everyone listening. Thinking about everything we've discussed, what's one small, manageable change you could commit to this week? Just one thing. Maybe it's charging phones outside the bedroom. Maybe it's reading for 10 minutes before lights out. Maybe it's dimming the lights an hour before bed. What single step can you take to start that positive ripple effect for your child's sleep and ultimately their learning and well-being?
Great question to ponder. Every little bit counts. And that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We really hope this gave you some valuable insights and maybe some motivation to make sleep a true priority. Thanks so much for diving deep with us.